Hey everyone, I'm Stephen Moore and I'm here to present our work on towards crowdsourcing the identification of knowledge components. By mapping the skills or knowledge components required to solve a problem to the activity itself, we can better model the student learning process by collecting more fine-grained data. However, creating this mapping is time intensive, requires resources such as money to pay the learning engineer or instructor, and also requires domain knowledge to generate such a mapping. Towards seeing how we can overcome some of these barriers, we devised an experiment targeting these two research questions. The first being, are crowd workers able to generate knowledge components that domain experts have identified? And secondly, does priming the participants improve both the quality and quantity of the knowledge components that they generate? We had two domains and two conditions. The first being math, where participants were presented with a geometry word problem and asked to provide three skills or KCs required to solve it. If they were in the priming condition, they completed two additional geometry problems before getting to this KC generation task. The priming versus no priming condition in the main task was similar to the writing domain, but instead of the math word problems, participants worked on writing word problems that came from an undergraduate writing course. On the left, you can see the word problem presented for the math condition, as well as the prompt participants were given at the bottom. And on the right are three expert-generated KCs that are mapped to this problem. Similarly, for the writing condition, participants were given this word problem on the left, the prompt at the bottom, and we can see four expert-generated KCs for this problem on the left. After that, we took these contributions and coded them into one of three categories. The first being relevant, meant if the contribution pertained to the problem but didn't match that of an expert. The second being direct match, meaning that the contribution directly matched an expert-generated KC. And finally, irrelevant, meaning that the response or contribution was too broad or did not convey a clear meaning. Towards research question one, we found that across both the priming and no priming condition, about 3/4 of the contributions were deemed relevant and about 1/3 were deemed a direct match. But we found that of the three expert generated KCs, one of them was missed altogether by the contributions. We had similar results in the writing condition where one of the expert generated KCs was missed altogether, and about 1/3 of the contributions were deemed a direct match, with about half being deemed relevant. Towards the second research question, we ultimately found that priming had no effect across either domain in terms of relevant and direct match contributions. So we found that crowd workers were able to generate KCs that matched, half or more of the expert generated ones. Expectedly, the math domain had a greater quantity and quality of contributions than the writing domain. But ultimately, we do need finer granularity to kind of match the expert generated KCs that we could perhaps elicit through either training the participants or providing more context. Thank you.